Welcome back to Footballology. So now it's time for us to go ahead and build the 2022 Detroit Lions. I'm kind of excited for this team, honestly. So last year they decided to go out and hire Dan Campbell, which I was okay with that. Unlike the Houston Texans and David Culley, I thought this was a true hiring. They wanted a guy to come in with had a little bit more spirit, a little bit more fire, and a little bit more fight because they wanted to implement that within the roster itself. Granted, the Lions went 3-13, being in the North when you have Minnesota, Green Bay, and the Bears. And I mean, the Bears not so much, but definitely Minnesota and Green Bay, and understanding what they can do and how challenging, how crazy that division can be at times. So scrolling down, first thing we're going to talk about is their passing. If I pass, there it is. So they're passing. Jared Goff. I don't know what this is, but they're still hanging on to it. But I really don't know what this is. I don't know what the Jared Goff experiment is. I don't know what they've seen in Jared Goff. But looking at his numbers compared to Ryan Tannehill, he's not that far off, honestly. Granted, he had less interceptions and less touchdowns as well. But his completion percentage is right there, 3,200 yards. He wasn't a bad quarterback. I'm indifferent with Jared Goff because I don't feel like he's a bad quarterback. I just don't know if he has the tools to actually win. So that's where I'm kind of sitting with that. Like maybe as a backup quarterback, come in and give you about 3 or 4 games if your starter's hurt. But I don't see him as a starting quarterback. But that's not up to me. That's up to the Lions. But looking at other guys, Jack Fox. I don't know who Jack Fox is. Tim Boyle, like they had everybody out here trying to throw a ball. They were trying to find anything at the quarterback position. So I definitely feel like that was a weak point moving into the 2022 offseason. Then scrolling down, now we start to get into the passers and the rushers. Go look at the rushing yards. We had Swift with 617 and 5 touchdowns. Now the thing with Swift is, he had 1,000 yards total between his receiving and rushing, with a total of 7 touchdowns. And Jamal Williams had a good year. So their rushing could be a lot better, obviously. But I think also, you see Swift only started in 4 games. I think he was banged up. Their running backs could not stay healthy, and that was probably a big thing that really hurt them in the running game. If Swift had a full 17-game season, what does this number look like? Probably closer to 12 or 1,300 yards rushing, with probably about 10 to 12 touchdowns as well. So I can see Swift only getting better from here, especially if he can stay on the field. So that's not an issue. I like Jamal Williams as a change of pace back. Then they had some other guys come in and really give them some good run too. So they got pieces as far as the running game goes, and I feel really comfortable about what they have there. Moving over to the receiving side. Now, when we get over to the receiving side, Amon-Ra St. Brown, he was a guy that a lot of people are high on going into this season. For him to put up 912 as a rookie with Jared Goff as his quarterback, that lets you at least give you some kind of hope and faith that he's going to be something quality move down the stretch. We had Hawkinson only play 12 games for us last year. I'm not sure if he got hurt. Maybe he did. I don't remember him getting hurt. Maybe he did. I don't know. Educate me on that one. But still putting up 583 with 4 touchdowns. I'll take that. And then we get down. We had Cleve Raymond with another 576 and 4 touchdowns. Swift once again. So the receiving is there. It's the capability is definitely there. I think they definitely needed some more receiving options for Jared Goff. Maybe that would help him. I don't know. But as you can see, some more receiving options would definitely help him. I think they got Josh Reynolds really late into the season, so that's why his numbers are not there. So maybe with him being another year in Detroit, maybe he can actually get a little bit better and actually elevate Jared Goff's game in the process as well. So the passing attack, just the overall offense that you can see, was definitely missing that spark of that fire. And for Dan Campbell to be a former tight end, you definitely thought TJ Hawkinson was going to have a bigger year than 583. So hopefully that's something that we can bank on too. Now scrolling down, then the one thing I said about like the Houston Texans or the Jacksonville Jaguars or some of the other teams that I've made video, or I only made on the South, but the other videos I've made, a lot of defenses have been competitive, especially with the Texans. But I felt like the Detroit Lions defense was just kind of hanging out. Like, being honest, Charles Harris was 7.5 sacks. So your sacks were down. We had total sacks of the team 30. That's not bad, but you definitely would like to see closer towards the 40 or 50 range. Then we come over to interceptions. Once again, what did they hit double digits? Barely hit double digit interceptions at 11. And so your biggest guy interception was Amani. I think I said that right. I'm not going to try to pronounce that last name. Forgive me. But as you can see, is that they definitely had somebody that was willing, corner that was back there trying to make some plays happen in the secondary. So, but it wasn't a competitive defense. It wasn't a competitive team. But one thing that I always say, that when new head coaches come in, they get 3 swings. The first year, this is exactly, believe it or not, if you're a Detroit Lions fan, trust me when I say this, you're on the right path. Now, I don't know if Jared Goff is the right guy, but you're on the right path. This season went exactly how it's supposed to. You're supposed to weed out the worms, get out the weak bodies, and start bringing in ballers. And this is what this season usually does. This 3-13 season. No, sorry, it was 3-14. 3-13-1. Sorry. So I think that one came against Pittsburgh. Was it against that Pittsburgh a tie? Hold on, because I'm curious now. Yeah, it was Pittsburgh. So it was a Pittsburgh tie. I remember that game. It was crazy. But anyways, so what you see now is you see that this team is one of those teams where when you go 3-13-1, you get people that feel like they're good. Get them out of there. I want ballers. I want people to want to be here for the long term. I want people to see the bigger picture. And that's what a season like this does. So if you're a Detroit Lions fan, believe me when I say this, I feel like Dan Campbell's the right guy for the job, and I feel like that you guys had the exact season you were supposed to. Now this season we want to see closer towards the 500 marker, so we're trying to play like 8-9, or maybe a 7-10 season would be even helpful. A 7-10 season would definitely say we're still on the right path, but an 8-9 season say that we're ahead of schedule. In my personal opinion, you're not making the playoffs. But if you go that 500, closer towards that 500 mark, even 9-8 would be a possibility. You can definitely see this team is trending in the right direction. So moving over to the free agency, first thing I noticed in free agency was DJ Chark. Now DJ Chark is on a 1-year prove-it deal, which I'm completely okay with. What you see DJ Chark with him, what happened with him is that big injury he had last year with Jacksonville, because a lot of people were projecting him to break out with Trevor Lawrence being his quarterback. But he comes into Detroit, and I think that's really going to help you guys a lot. Why did anybody sign Mike Hughes? I don't know. As a Chiefs fan, I feel for you, because if you don't know why, go back and watch Buffalo versus Kansas City in a divisional round. Gabriel Davis had Mike Hughes' number from the time Mike Hughes suited up into the game, that final whistle. It was ridiculous. So I don't know why anybody wants to sign Mike Hughes, but they did. Chris Board, that's cool. Jared Davis coming back, I thought was really, really, really good, because I was a big fan of Jared Davis. I think that he actually has some upside. Deshaun Elliott, I liked him while he was in Baltimore. Good upside guy. And the one thing I see here, and so this is once again gives me hope that you guys are on the right path. Now let's say DJ Chark comes out and balls out. Well, he on a 1-year prove-it deal. We can go ahead and lock him up for a little bit longer, maybe 2 or 3 more years. Now let's say he comes out and does nothing. No harm, no foul. Right? We only got him for 1 year. Kind of gives us an idea what we really want at that number 2 or number 1 position, because I like Amon Ra, but I'm not sure if he's a 1 yet. I mean, no. I'm not saying he's Odell, but could he do some Odell things? Because at first I was kind of unsure about Odell being a 1, but as you can see, as time went progressed, Odell really kind of solidified himself in New York as that 1. Can Amon Ra be that guy? Possibility. I'm not going to take that from him. But DJ Chark gives you the opportunity to really see what we need at that other receiver position. We'll call it that, the other receiver position. So Chark comes out, balls out. We sign him to a longer term. Cool. He doesn't do anything. No harm, no foul. Jared Davis coming back. He knows the team, knows the system. Does he know the system? Maybe. I'm not sure. I'll have to look up your coaching staff. But Jared Davis coming back, knowing what he's getting himself into. If he can stay healthy, I think he'd be a really solid inside linebacker. Elliott, once again, really solid, strong playmaking safety, in my opinion, especially while he was in Baltimore. I thought he was really good. But that's really it as far as the free agent goes. So we're going to get over to this draft. So now here comes to this draft class. This draft class is really interesting. And this is why, once again, you guys are right where you need to be if you're a Detroit Lions fan. And you know I'm right. So we go out and we get Aiden Hutchinson, which is a no-brainer. Everybody's seen that come in the first round. Give you that edge rusher. We only had 7.5 sacks and Charles Harris. If we can get another guy come out there, if Hutchinson come out and give us anywhere from, I would say I would need anywhere from 9 to 10 sacks from him, 9 to 11, somewhere in that window. I think that would be perfect. 10 would be ideal. Anything over 11 is just mind-blowing baller. Jameson Williams, if he can come out healthy, I don't know when you're going to get him. I don't know where his health is right now. But if he come out healthy, then you're right where you need to be. I like Kirby Joseph at the safety position. I think that's really good. And then Malcolm Rodriguez, I think that's a really good linebacker pickup. James Houston, I think this dude's a hybrided linebacker pass rusher kind of guy. Once again, gives you that flexibility at the front of this defense. And I think that's really valuable. So there's some pieces here that are very workable within this team that's already have some interesting secondary pieces, in my opinion. The front was kind of weak and kind of battered up a little bit, but I think that's something that's going to be really cool. And so something else I want to take a look at real quick. I want to come over here and look at the coaching staff real quick. And so when we come to look at the coaching staff, like we talked about Dan Campbell, as I scroll down, Deuce Staley being there, I think that's going to be a really good. Well, was he assistant head coach, running back guy? So like that's cool. Ben Johnson, don't know anything about Ben Johnson. Let's see real quick. Let's see if we can learn something on Ben Johnson. Let's go to Lions as offensive quality control coach. Service tight end coach. Okay, maybe this is interesting because I don't know anything about his background, like where he's coming from or anything like that. I got to figure this out. Give me a second. I got to look him up. So I went ahead and looked up Ben Johnson real quick, try to see what his offensive background knowledge was and who he got coached under, or he learned under rather. And it looked like he was been with Dan Campbell for the most part for the longest time. So I'm interested to see how this offense is going to run because I can't really get a pinpoint on who taught him how to offense, if that makes sense at all. Because you kind of get these guys that come from certain trees, and a lot of the schemes and systems run the same, probably different terminology, but they run the same. With Ben Johnson, I'm not sure at all what he does. So it's gonna be interesting moving forward to see how he does and see how everything goes with him. I'm kind of excited now because I don't know what to expect. You kind of think you do, but you never do. So now we're gonna come over here to Aaron Glenn, our defensive coordinator, to really see what the defense is going to look like. Now, from the looks of it, he's been with Dan Campbell for quite some time, I guess, when in New Orleans, and he was responsible for overseeing the secondary, which kind of makes sense because I feel like this secondary had some upside, especially with the talented players they got back there. But bringing them back for another year, I didn't feel like this defense was highly competitive, but maybe getting the pieces they got this offseason can improve this defense and really get them and keep them in a couple of games. Like I said, the offense for me more or less was the issue. I don't think the defense was a complete issue, but it was just a total team issue. Like they needed everything. But hopefully Aaron Glenn can get this defense going in the right direction, especially if he's been in New Orleans for 4 years. And the New Orleans defense has always been competitive, but they also had a lot of talent. But I think the Detroit Lions have that same level of talent. I'm not saying Jeff Okudah is like Marshawn Lattimore or anything like that, but what I'm saying is they definitely have some talent in their secondary, and it's interesting to see how he's going to be able to use these guys and really put them in position to make plays. So, with all the fluff, all the craziness out, the players, we know our players, we got our coaches. Let's go build out our roster real quick. So we're going to come over here. We're going to go to the NFC North. Then we're going to come down to the Detroit Lions, and we're going to start building out this roster. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what the Detroit Lions are going to do this year because I think they have a lot of unknown. And sometimes with the unknown, you get a lot of just crazy mismatches and all those things. So I'm excited. So I think right out of the back, we got to go with Jared Goff. I was going to say Jared Goff. Jeff Goff? I don't know what I was about to call him. But we're going to go with Jared Goff because I feel like he's the only quarterback right now that makes sense. I mean, maybe you can go Blau. I don't know. I don't see any of these guys actually being quality outside of Goff. So we're just gonna go with Goff. I think running back position once again is gonna be a two-way. It's gonna be the DeAndre Swift or Jamal Williams with a changeup. Jefferson gave them some quality run last year too, if I remember correctly. So they got some bodies here that can give them some run. But Swift, I think, is gonna be the number one guy. Then we're gonna come over to our left tackle position. Taylor Decker, hands down, and then our right tackle should be Penei Sewell, which I'm indifferent about Penei Sewell. I would like to see him more as a guard than I would like to see him as a tackle, me personally. I give you guys a scenario real quick, but then we're going to come over to our guard. Looking at our guards, Jonah Jackson, maybe do a Jonah Jackson there at left guard. Does that make sense? Frank Ragnow is going to be our center, so I can plug that in real quick. I think that's a solid center. And then Jonah Jackson seems to be a guard. We're going to be a left guard. And then we're going to go to our right guard. And looking at our right guard, now this is going to be, once again, not sure what we're going to do with this guard position. I've been stumped out on these guards, especially the right guard position. I don't know why. But again, stumped out. And I'm not sure. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me one more second. So I'm back. Had to look at something real quick. Just had to get an idea of what I'm looking at. So it looked like Evan Brown actually gave them a lot of play at the center position. So I don't know if that's something that they want to do moving forward, and maybe Frank Ragnow just the backup. I don't know if they like Ragnow or not. Maybe they kick Ragnow to guard, because looking at this guard position, it seemed like it was kind of like an open position, and it seemed like they never really had nobody to put their hat on. But I seen Matt Nelson got some snaps for them last year. So what if we did something like this? And I'm not sure how Matt Nelson plays, so if you're a Lions fan, let me know. But what if we move Penei Sewell to right guard, and then we play Matt Nelson at right tackle? and do something like that. I would like to see that because I think that would be really interesting. I think Penei Sewell does better on the interior than he would on the outside, but people swear up and down he's a tackle. But that's just my personal opinion. Let me know what you think about that starting five up front. But I think realistically, we might be looking at something like Jonah Jackson at left guard, and then we'll probably go with I'm looking and maybe a Ragnow. I keep wanting to put Frank Ragnow out there. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna leave it like this because like I said, and Matt Nelson gave them some run last year, but I think it's because Taylor Decker was out. Maybe Matt Nelson comes in at right tackle and gives you some play at right tackle, move Penei Sewell into guard. Let me know what you think of that. I think it's a good position. I think it's pretty cool. All right, so now we got a front five, we got a quarterback, we got a receiver or a running back. Come over to the tight end. I think this is obviously a no-brainer. We got TJ Hawkinson right here. There's not anybody else to worry about. So probably ink him in, honestly. Just you go ahead and lock him in there. Then we come over to his receiver position. Now, this is usually our number one on the left. And like I said, I don't think Amon-Ra is a true one yet. And I'm not sure where Jameson Williams is right now. But just for this sake, we're going to say DJ Charker's ready to roll. Charker's our one. And then we come over and we look at our slot and our number two receiver. I think Amon-Ra can get you a lot of play out of the slot. I think he gives you a lot of quality play out of the slot. And then our two, I like Cephas. I really do. Josh Johnson. If this is Josh Johnson, I think it is. That's my guy from Tulsa. So I'm kind of excited for him. But I think ideally, if you're the Lions fan, this is probably what you want to see with Jameson Williams out there, and I kind of agree with that too. So you get Jameson Williams at the 2, you get Amon-Ra at the slot, and then you have DJ Chark at the 1. And I think that's the run that you would go with for sure, 100%. I like that, and especially if all three of those guys are at the top and they're healthy. The only thing that's messed up about this offense, in my personal opinion, is Jared Goff. But like I said, you're a Lions fan. Let me know what you think. Do you feel like if you penciled in, let's say if we gave you guys like a Derek Carr, or we gave you like a tier 2 quarterback, I'm trying to think who else. Look at my board. I always gotta look at this for some reason. Maybe if we put on Jimmy Garoppolo here, maybe a Jimmy Garoppolo. Do you feel like this offense has a little bit better play? I think so. I like I said, I think Jared Goff can play. I just don't think he knows how to play. If that makes sense. Like he has all the physical traits to play. It's weird. But neither here or there. So we're gonna go over to our cornerback 1. Looking at our CB1. Now you guys got a lot of good CBs in my personal opinion. I think I like Melifonwu a lot. You obviously got Okudah coming back. Amani got us a lot of picks last year. So what if we did something like this? What if we did Jeff Okudah, which I think it's just because he's a first round pick. So let's do the man that actually gave us some play last year. Like Tracy Walker's pretty good too. I really like Tracy Walker. So let's do this. So we're gonna put him here at the 1. Then we're gonna come over to our slot. Like I said, I like Melifonwu a lot, but we're gonna do Melifonwu as a nickel. Melifonwu, I can't even say his name. And then we're gonna put Okudah at the 2. Just because I'm not sure. It seems like there's some issue with Jeff Okudah right now. Like they're not in love with him, in my personal opinion. But that could just be me from the outside looking in. And then we come out to our free safety position. Now, when you look at your free safety position, you got Kirby Joseph that you drafted, which I'm not sure how that's going to run. Tracy Walker, I think, is automatically going to be in there. How many did Tracy Walker ball out last year? Because I feel like I've seen his name a lot last year. So he played 15 games, 3rd round. Oh, they don't have a stat line up here. Dang it. Probably have to go back to the stats. But anyways, so I feel like Tracy Walker gave you guys a lot of quality play last year. If I'm wrong, let me know what you think in the comment section below. But I definitely remember seeing his name a lot. But you also got to Sean Elliott too. So I don't know where you play Elliott, or if Elliott plays that hybrid role. Maybe he does that. Yeah, I could see that. Like Elliott can kind of play that Joker / linebacker role, which I really, really like. Especially if you have a good player you have a smart player at that position, you can really do a lot of damage if you do. Now here's the issue. Now who's the strong? Do you play Kirby at the strong, or do you play Deshaun Elliott at the strong? That's interesting. Or do we play Tracy Walker at the strong? So many questions. Hold on, give me a second. Let's Let's look at something real quick. I always like to look at size. I don't know why. Size comparisons always kind of gives me an idea of what I feel like a guy should do without seeing their play. Now, Elliott has a pretty decent good size to him. I feel like Tracy Walker's a bigger safety. He's not 6'1". So, and then looking at Kirby Joseph. So your safeties are very interchangeable by the looks of it. There's not like that one big banger of a safety. That one guy that's just going to come out and just ball out of control. Will Harris could possibly play strong too. I guess the question really comes down to who gives you the most play or who gives you the best play, right? So we got our corner set. Looking at the safety, Tracy Walker's gave us 15 games last year. Will Harris gave us 17 games last year. But we got Elliott. So that's okay. I'm just going to, like I said, I feel like a lot of your safeties are interchangeable. I think this could easily be Tracy Walker, and that could be Elliott, or Will Harris can be out here. I like the secondary for Detroit a lot, and that's why I'm like, maybe that's why they felt comfortable bringing back Aaron Glenn. It's because they really like this secondary and the way the secondary is going to run. So I think personally, those safeties are interchangeable, and not like you're not going to get a drop off in play either. So I think you can go either way right there, in my personal opinion. So then we're coming down to our defensive front and defensive line. I think a lot of this is a no-brainer. I want to say you guys are going to run a 4-3. I feel like that's going to be the most comfortable front for you guys. So with that, I'm going to put Hutchinson at the end spot right there. See, we have noses, though. We have nose tackles, and I'm not sure about that. So, this is interesting because like none of these guys really. So do you play a 4-3 or a 3-4? See, Charles Harris. So maybe you're playing. Is Aaron Glenn coming from a 3-4? So if we're doing a 3-4, I feel like that hurts Hutchinson though. That's just my personal opinion. But let's run it like a 3-4. We're gonna run it like a 3-4 just because it seems like that's the way the positions are currently set up. So we're gonna give Hutchinson there, and then we're looking for one of these nose. Who's our nose? McNeil? Like McNeil. I feel like I've seen that name a lot. How many snaps did he play last year? He gave us 16. He gave us 17 games played. Michael Brocker. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I know I wasn't smoking. So maybe they're switching to a 3-4 this year. Let me know. Are they switching? Is the Detroit Lions switching to a 3-4 this year? Because if that's the case, then that would make sense. Why the positions look funny right now, especially with Charles Harris being an outside linebacker. So we're gonna play McNeil at the nose. How big is McNeil? Okay, that's not a bad size. I like that. I like this dude too. How you say his last name? Penicillin? Penicillin? Alright, I'm gonna say penicillin. I don't know. I'm butchering names now. But either one of these guys, I can see that. But I feel like McNeil gave us the best play or the best run. So we're gonna pick McNeil there. And then we're gonna come over here. And Michael Brockers. I think I like Michael, especially if we're playing a 3-4. Obviously, that's a no-brainer. Michael Brockers being that the defensive end spot. But I feel like this hurts Hutchinson. In my personal opinion, I feel like it hurts Hutchinson, but I could be wrong. All right, coming out here, and then we're going to look at Charles Harris on the outside linebacker position because automatically he led us in sacks last year. I can definitely see him getting some run there. We got Jared Davis here. Pittman. I think so a lot of these jobs might just be won by default because I'm not sure unless they start moving people. Anzalone, I like him. He's pretty good. I think he gave you guys some good run last year too. Chris Board. That name sounds. What did he play for? Because that name really sounds familiar. So he's in Baltimore last year too. Okay. And then 6'2", 235. Okay. Maybe Anthony Pittman. Let me know what you think about this middle linebacker position because it's interesting because I thought it was going to be a no-brainer, especially with Jared Davis and coming back and all that. So it might just be a competition kind of type situation, but I like Board size, so I'm gonna go with Board right there. And then outside linebacker position out here. Who we got? Oh, this name sounds familiar. Julian Carwa. Why can't we get normal names? Why am I just not feeling? So Anzalone played some outside. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so it's not me. They did play a 4-3 last year, and they might be switching to a 3-4 this year. It's not me because they got Anzalone here as an outside linebacker position, but on my spreadsheet, I have him as an inside linebacker. So maybe they are switching. Maybe I'm not crazy. Maybe, just maybe. Okay. So with all that craziness out of my head, where did Trey Flowers end up going? Because you guys did have Trey Flowers, and I remember you guys did let him go, which is kind of sad, honestly. And Nick Williams. Huh. Okay. So, anyways, I'm losing track. I'm losing track of what I'm doing right now. I'm confused at these linebacker positions, hardcore, because none of these guys are standing out to me. None of these names are looking familiar to me. Yeah, I'm losing my mind. Yeah, I'm gonna need some Detroit help on this one. I'm gonna need some Lions help on this one. Let me know what y'all think about these. My brain's leaking. My brain's leaking. Yeah, let me know what you think at these outside linebacker position. I think, like I said, Chris Harris automatically. James Houston, because I just know who he is coming out of Jackson State, but nah, that's not a thing either. I don't know. Is this just a camp position too? I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it's just a camp position, because I'm not sure if any of these guys. There's like, see, we got inside linebackers here. Anzalone is not. He's a cover linebacker, so he's not gonna be out there. Oh man. Oh, then we put Rodriguez out there. Rodriguez got some wheels, but can he get out to the quarterback? I think you might end up stumbling into like a Michael Parsons situation where you think a guy can do one thing and kind of put him out there, and then there might be some of these defensive ends that could possibly move out here to linebacker too. I'm not sure these guys' size exactly. I'm stumped on this outside linebacker position. I'm completely stumped. I'm not sure. I don't know what we're gonna do here. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Am I missing something? These linebackers are so questionable to me. I'm not sure of any of these guys' capability or what they can bring to the table. I'm not gonna lie. None of these names sound familiar. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that like that. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. With all that being said, I already said in the opening that I could definitely see this team getting closer towards the 500 mark. So we're looking at like a 7-10 season or an 8-9 season, somewhere around there. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't think you guys go 9-8 or 10-7 or anything like that. I think you guys are going to be on that sweet spot of 500 somewhere, one way or the other. And that's it. Because I don't know about Jared Goff. That's my biggest concern. This offensive line, I think, has a lot of potential to be great, like dead ass serious, great. Like when I say great, I mean up there with the top 5 offensive lines, especially if you move Penei Sewell into guard. I really like that, but I just don't know about that right tackle position. Is Matt Nelson somebody that can really play that right tackle position? If not, then maybe we just move Penei back out to the right tackle and find ourselves a good right guard. And then the receivers, love the receivers, love the pass catchers, love the weapons that you guys got. Detroit got a quality ass weapon core. Like, it is just between your running backs. Like, you got 2 good running backs, you got multiple good receivers. Even with the starting 3 that I have on the board right now, you still got guys behind them that could probably play at a high level as well. And then I love this secondary. I genuinely love this secondary for Detroit. I think that the secondary that Detroit has, once again, the same scenario with the receivers. The guys that I see on the screen are quality, but the guys there behind them can even probably play at a high level too. So that is really interesting. But then we get to these front 7. I don't like the idea. Like I said, I could be wrong that they're not switching to a 4-3 or 3-4. They could just be in a 4-3 and my positions are messed up. And if that's the case, then so be it. Because I would like to see something like this real quick. We're going to do it quick. So like Hutchinson here, Brockers on the inside, leave McNeil there, and then we kind of figure out this other end spot here. Maybe Levi, maybe something like this. So that's what our front looks like. So this will be our front 4. And then we come down to Board at the inside linebacker position. So we'll do Board here, and then we'll do like an Anzalone here, or even a Jared Davis is a possibility, or Rodriguez, obviously. So we do Rodriguez there. And then we're going to block that one out. And then it says Charles Harris. So Charles Harris will find his way on the field. So maybe that's be our other defense end. across from Hutchinson. So that'd be a thing there, but he's not. Or clearly, he's not on my position list. I like Pittman's size. Like Pittman had some good size. That was interesting. So maybe we do Houston because I think Houston has a lot of flexibility. I said I didn't want to. I didn't want to put him in the lineup, but I put him in the lineup anyways. But I feel like Houston has a lot of position flexibility. I think he can rush the passer, but at the same time, with his size and athleticism, I think he can also drop back and give you some good interceptions, maybe some good pass covers, pass picks or cover picks too. No, I'm trying to say anymore. So maybe this is a thing right here. I feel like this is so offsetting and it's bugging me a little bit, but this is definitely a thing here where this could be our front. And I like this a lot better versus the 3-4 front. That's just me personally. But if you're a Lions fan, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I just kind of, I'm just kind of right now on the whole ordeal. So with all that being said, I got to give you guys a D. And it's not because you're in Detroit, just because that's how I look at it. You guys barely passed the offseason, in my personal opinion. I like the 1-year contract share deal for some of your free agents, especially guys like DJ Chark. I think getting Chark for 1 year, get him on a prove-it deal, come out, let him ball out. If he does well, you resign him. If he doesn't, you got Jameson Williams. You got other bodies out there that you can easily replace him with. So there's no harm, no foul there. But what really didn't hit home for me is not addressing the quarterback position. Now, granted, I didn't like the quarterback class as much as the next person. Like, I didn't think there was a lot there. I get that. But not even at least bringing somebody in that can compete with Jared Goff for the starting job kind of makes me mad, because you're essentially saying Jared Goff is your job. Just don't completely burn us, right? Like, all right, whatever. And then again, you guys could be waiting for who's the guy? There's a guy coming out of Eastern Carolina next year. So maybe you guys are just waiting, like, you know what? We like next year's quarterback class. We're just gonna run this. We already know we're gonna have a mediocre season. Let's just get the guys some more experience and see what we can do. Maybe Jared Goff surprise us and give us a couple of good quality games in there. But I think that, and if you're a fan of the channel, you know I'm not a big fan of taking quarterbacks in the first round and all that good wise, but I think you got to at least bring some competition in to force the other quarterback to play better, because if you don't, the guy gets complacent and think he can just get away with anything. And then the front kind of bugs me too. The defensive front with that secondary, maybe the secondary is just going to cover better and make their front look better than what they are. But I like Hutchinson, but after that, it kind of seems like there's a fall off, and that might just be me. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Like I said, you guys barely passed this offseason, but I do believe that you guys are on the right track as far as like getting the players in there, as far as having the right coaches in there. I think you guys are going in the right direction, but it's just a really slow, methodical process. It's a really slow, methodical process that's happening right now, and it's eventually going to pay off in the long run. But we're going to see what happens this season. Like I said, if you guys go 7-10, 8-9, somewhere around there, I think it'd be ideally right where you're at. You win 10 games, are you way ahead of schedule? Way ahead of schedule. But that's all I have for you guys in this video. If you guys like it, definitely give it a thumbs up. If you're a Lions fan, help me out with the roster. What you think? Are you guys running a 4-3 this year, or are you running a 3-4 this year? Because I feel like you guys are going to run a 4-3, but my positions may be messed up. I'm not sure. But if you like it, like I said, give it a thumbs up. And if you're not a footballologist yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. Gonna subscribe to the YouTube channel today, become a footballologist, and stay safe, football fans.